And for the moment, Lewis looks punched out as he lands.
Rahman starting to get his jab more powerful.
Oh! Wonderful shot!
Courageux. Encore, il est KO, La droite.
Lennox Lewis.
Lennox Lewis is one of the greatest heavyweights in boxing's history. The three-time world heavyweight champion dominated the ring and established himself as one of the most fearsome boxers of his time. Standing at 6 feet 5 inches, Lewis is the definition of raw strength inside the ring. Yet, despite his terrific size, he showcased great athleticism and coordination. He's a skillful and talented fighter whose best weapon is his left jab. And today, we would like to explore the incredible career of Lennox Lewis, the last undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Lewis was born on September 2, 1965, to Jamaican parents in London. He grew up in London's violent East End and would often pick fights with other kids in the neighborhood. Fearing her son would get into trouble with the law if he remained in London, Lewis's mother relocated him to Canada at the age of 12. While in Canada, Lewis became increasingly interested in sports. He was an all-round athlete who excelled in Canadian football, soccer, basketball, and track and field. But ultimately, he found his calling in the boxing ring. Lewis showed great potential as an amateur and made a name for himself when he won the World Amateur Junior title in 1983. In the following year, 18-year-old Lewis represented Canada in the 1984 Summer Olympics as a super heavyweight, but lost by decision in the quarterfinals to America's Briggs, who went on to win the gold medal. However, instead of turning professional after the Olympics, Lewis decided to remain an amateur so that he could return to the Olympics and win gold. After winning several amateur titles, he finally achieved his dream, winning a gold medal at the 1988 Summer Olympics in South Korea. Lewis turned professional in 1989 and moved back to his native Britain, where he signed up with Frank Maloney as his boxing promoter. He began his illustrious boxing career with knockouts of journeymen, and less than 1 year into his professional career, he compiled a record of 10-0, with all the fights ending prematurely from brutal knockouts.
Getting through, and he's down.
40 seconds left. Jones has been a human punching bag for Lewis. He is down.
He doesn't want to take too many of those, though. Oh, and a left hook. Hasim down on the athlete. Still got trouble with his breathing. Nose has bled quite freely from the early stages.
Lewis's first test was against Puerto Rican former world cruiserweight champion Ossie Ocasio, whose notable victories include wins over Dwight Muhammad and Jimmy Young. Lewis defeated Ocasio via 8-round unanimous decision, thus, the former cruiserweight champion became the first opponent to take Lewis to the distance. After his decision victory over Ocasio, Lewis went on to take the European title from Jean-Maurice Shannon via a 6th-round stoppage in October 1990,
That's it, it's all over.
and the British title from Gary Mason in March 1991.
He's putting everything into a do-or-die effort. And it's called off.
Lewis also defeated American former heavyweight champion Mike Weaver via 6th-round knockout in July 1991.
48 punches landing for Weaver every so often. See if it can pay off.
Oh, and Weaver's down. The right hand from Lennox Lewis.
5, 6, 7.
And Weaver's not going to make it.
9, 10.
A stunning 6th-round knockout. The right hand from Lennox Lewis. And that is it.
He lulled him asleep. Lulled him to sleep, and bingo, came out of nowhere with that great right hand right up.
Then, in his 18th professional bout, Lennox Lewis faced Briggs. the same boxer who defeated him in the quarterfinals and won the gold medal at the 1984 Olympics. However, in the professional ranks, Lennox Lewis didn't give Tyrell a single chance and secured a victory by technical knockout in the third round.
Lewis throws another one. Briggs goes down again, and the referee's seen enough.
He continued to rise steadily through the professional ranks and added the British Commonwealth belt to his titles in 1992 after he made short work of Derek Williams.
Just missing its target. Oh, what a right uppercut, and another one, and a right, and down Williams goes. That was impressive. Is he going to get up from that? 7, 8, 9, it's close, it's stopped, it's over.
By this time, Lewis was ranked top 5 world heavyweight by all the major boxing organizations, and it was only a matter of time for him to get the recognition that he deserved. His first opportunity came against Canada's hard-hitting Donovan Razor Ruddock in October 1992. As amateurs, Lewis and Ruddock met in March 1980, but Ruddock won the bout via a split decision. Ruddock was coming off 2 losses to former champion Mike Tyson, but he became the WBC's #1 contender after Tyson was convicted and arrested in 1992. Therefore, Lewis became the WBC's #2 contender and was matched up against Ruddock in a WBC heavyweight title eliminator. Immediately after the opening bell, Ruddock came forward, but Lewis remained calm and kept him at bay with his jab. Then, with only 10 seconds to go in round 1, Lewis dropped Ruddock hard to the canvas.
Ruddock is down in the opening round, and he's hurt by that. What a sensation. Is Ruddock going to get up? He does.
Here we go. He just leans it down, got the leverage, and Ruddock's legs just turned.
In round 2, Ruddock came forward again, but Lewis dropped him to the canvas for a second time.
Oh, and Lewis gets through again. He's got him. He's going to be down again here, Lewis.
Ruddock instinctively got back to his feet to continue fighting, but Lewis blasted him to the canvas for a third time to score a knockout.
Explode his bombs, but it's all Lewis, and he's got him again.
That is it, I think. It's all over.
It's over. Lennox Lewis has done it. Lennox Lewis will fight. Power man in this contest was Lennox Lewis. Well, maybe those 19 rounds with Mike Tyson had taken something away from the Razor, but let's not take anything away from Lewis. That was the best performance from any British-based heavyweight, I think, in living memory.
Oh, he certainly rose to the occasion. Some fabulous punches written here. He just never gave Ruddock a chance. He heard him early, and he kept on him. And Ruddock's legs never really came.
With the victory, Lewis became the mandatory challenger for Riddick Bowe's heavyweight championship. However, Bowe relinquished the WBC title in protest to avoid defending against Lewis. So, in December 1992, the WBC declared Lewis the new champion, thus making him the first world heavyweight champion from Britain in the 20th century. Lewis's first defense of the title was against former heavyweight champion Tony Tucker, whom he defeated via a 12-round unanimous decision.
Like he did before. Heavyweight champion of the world, Lennox Lewis.
On October 1st, 1993, Lewis made the second defense of his WBC title against fellow British boxer Frank Bruno in a bout billed as the Battle of Britain. The fight was the first time that 2 British-born boxers had met for the world heavyweight title. However, Bruno was the home favorite. Bruno had an explosive early career and racked up many easy wins. He came into the bout with a record of 36 wins and only 3 losses, with 2 of the losses coming in a world title fight. Bruno had previously challenged for the heavyweight championship against Tim Witherspoon in 1986 and Mike Tyson in 1989, but he was unsuccessful in both outings. There was a lot of bad blood between the 2 heavyweights heading into the clash. Bruno took the fight to Lewis and built a comfortable lead in the early rounds.
On his side.
him pretty elusive.
Lewis needing. That's a good overhand right from Bruno. Did Lewis take that? He looks in a spot of bother.
In round 3, Bruno rocked Lewis with a hard right hand on the head, but Lewis managed to remain on his feet. However, Bruno continued with his relentless assault, forcing the champion to fight on the back foot. By the end of the 6th round, 2 of the judges had the fight even, while one of them had Bruno ahead 59-55. At the start of round 7, Bruno continued to press forward until a left hook from Lewis reminded him of the danger of standing in front of the champion.
This certainly is a great heavyweight title fight.
Look at Bruno here, coming up with a left hook, catches him, and Bruno was hurt by that. And now Lewis is looking to close in to finish this, and Bruno is in trouble. Bruno is in big trouble.
Lewis, sensing the end was near, pursued the challenger and stopped him with a series of punches to the head to retain his title.
Mickey's going to stop it. Or is he? He's called off the assault. Well, that was a contentious incident in the fight. I thought for a moment there he was stopping that right uppercut. Lewis here, and Bruno is on the verge of going. He won't take a lot more, and this time it is stopped, and Lennox Lewis is still the WBC heavyweight champion.
After one more successful defense of the WBC title against Phil Jackson, his next opponent was America's Oliver McCall on September 24, 1994. McCall was little known before the fight, and he had a not-so-impressive record of 24 wins and 5 losses. The losses were mostly against heavyweight contenders, including Tony Tucker, whom Lewis defeated in his first title defense a year earlier. Despite the unassuming record, McCall gave a good fight. After a close first round, McCall came out aggressively in round 2, dropping the champion hard to the canvas with a counter right cross.
Flicks out that jab. Oh, it's a short right hand. A short right hand.
That's
just
what he
the
called.
Way
That's what he said.
Hey, and Lewis doesn't look good.
Lewis got up on unsteady legs, prompting the referee to immediately halt the contest and declare McCall as the new champion.
It is over. It is over. The man known as the Atomic Bull just exploded and gored the Big Brit. Oliver McCall is your new WBC.
Although Lewis attempted to secure a rematch, McCall refused and instead decided to defend the title against former champion Larry Holmes. Lewis rebounded with 2 stoppage wins over Lionel Butler in May 1995 and Justin Fortune in July 1995.
Fortune is caught here and in terrible trouble, and it stopped. Oh, it stopped.
His next opponent was the former WBO heavyweight champion Tommy Morrison in October 1995. A matchup between Lewis and Morrison had been in the making for 2 years. During Lewis's first stint as WBC heavyweight champion, he and Morrison were able to reach an agreement for a lucrative fight. However, Morrison chose to take a warm-up fight against little-known Michael Bent before facing Lewis. Unfortunately, this proved to be a bad decision, as Bent brutalized Morrison before stopping him in the first round. Morrison got himself back into contention after defeating Donovan Ruddock and claiming the vacant IBC heavyweight title. Following his victory over Ruddock, Morrison was scheduled to face Riddick Bowe for the WBO heavyweight title, but Bowe pulled out of the fight at the last minute.
Tough, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Any questions here? Any questions here? Let's get it on!
Lewis established his jab and kept Morrison at bay in the opening round.
Hard right hand by Tommy.
That will move.
Has made a big point of saying, I don't think...
Lewis continued using this strategy in the second round and dropped Morrison to the canvas with a quick left hook.
Long stride, and that's good.
And also opened a cut above his right eye.
So the little left hook from Lennox Lewis that put Morrison down has apparently also cut his eye.
You got to get low.
In round 3, Lewis continued using his jab accurately and effectively, targeting Morrison's vulnerable right eye. But in round 4, Morrison increased his output, causing him to win on 2 of the judges' scorecards. Lewis, however, regained control in round 5 and dropped Morrison towards the end of the round.
Morrison went to one knee. Lane calls it a knockdown, correctly so. Morrison knew it. He went immediately to the neutral corner, and that right eye's looking pretty bad.
This fight is big.
Coming into round 6, Lewis was leading on all the scorecards while Morrison's right eye was almost completely shut. Lewis continued from where he stopped, dropping Morrison to the canvas early in the round.
Down goes Morrison again, and this is becoming a blowout.
Morrison got up to continue fighting, but Lewis unleashed a final assault, knocking him down to the canvas and out.
After taking a terrible beating.
Lane's getting very close to a stoppage here. You get that sense. Down goes Morrison again, and I wonder if Mills has seen enough. There is no 3 knockdown rule in effect. That's the 4th knockdown of the fight, and that'll do it.
Lewis once again became the WBC's #1 contender. Then, in his only fight in 1996, Lewis scored a majority decision win over Olympic gold medalist and former WBO champion Ray Mercer.
Let's have a nice clean fight. Touch gloves, good luck to the both of you.
It's a big payday. 3 years ago.
Without a doubt, this is the biggest fight of Lennox Lewis's career. He's got it
many times. And now he's trying to run through Lennox Lewis rather than bob and weave and work his way through. He wants to get inside so badly. That's the first big battle, getting inside. He scores. Mercer backing Lewis up. Lewis holding on. Good right, chopping right by Mercer uppercut. Lewis in trouble.
legs so far apart. By the time the signal gets to his legs to get out of there, he just missed Lewis's chin.
And Klitschko disaster tonight. That's the guy that's founding. Now Mercer gets caught with some uppercut. Mercer chin. Uppercut and then 2 big bombs behind it. And then he answered at the end. And there's a low blow warning for Lennox Lewis. In and out more than.
And on the flip side, Ray Mercer's been good from the outside.
Through the 5 rounds, but Lewis trying to turn it on. Mercer always dangerous, though he lands an uppercut and a left hook.
He's 6'5". Looks like he carried the weight fairly well, but you gotta wonder what effect that's had.
Battle, a crowd pleaser. They might even get up on their feet when this is over. They should. Lennox Lewis pulling away.
Winner on a split decision, Lennox.
On February 7th, 1997, Lennox Lewis and Oliver McCall met in a rematch for the vacant WBC heavyweight title. Lewis was expected to face Mike Tyson for the WBC title, but Tyson chose to challenge Bruce Seldon for the WBA title instead. However, after Tyson defeated Seldon, he refused to face Lewis and vacated the WBC title. Lewis, being the #1 contender, signed up to fight Oliver McCall, the #2 contender.
Let's get along!
McCall came forward after the opening bell in round 1, but Lewis kept him at bay with his jab and easily dominated the round. McCall increased his output in round 2, hurling huge right hands at Lewis. But in the 3rd round, McCall was already out of ideas, and Lewis increased his tempo and started to connect at will. Then, at the end of round 3, McCall refused to return to his corner in a bizarre move.
#1, that's not the right move. His corner is in disbelief. Look at George. I don't blame George. George will walk out of the corner. Watch what I got there. He'll walk out of the corner.
He came into the 4th round wandering aimlessly around the ring and refused to return to his corner again at the end of the round.
Go to the corner around #4. I would throw him out the damn ring. I was right. He doesn't belong in the ring. I would suspend him.
seconds out.
You can win this fight.
He's having a nervous breakdown.
Down here, man. Go and fight this fucking.
In round 5, the referee was forced to stop the contest as McCall refused to fight or defend himself.
That's it. It's over.
It's over. It's over. It's over. It's ready to stop the bout. Lennox Lewis is the new WBC heavyweight champion of the world.
On October 4th, 1997, Lewis made the second defense of his WBC heavyweight title against Polish Andrew Golota. With only a minute into the fight, Lewis backed Golota against the corner ropes and unloaded a barrage to send the challenger to the canvas.
Got stunned by right over the top by Lewis.
Good right and left hand by Lewis. Golota's in deep.
Golota's down.
Stunned by the
He's not
power
there.
of Lennox Lewis. This could be over. This very well could be
Gonna let it
over.
continue. He's gonna let it continue.
Golota in deep trouble. He was hammered, and Lewis coming at him. He gets a long count essentially, but
Golota made it back to his feet again, but Lewis went for the kill and unloaded another barrage to send Golota to the canvas and out.
That's it. Shot. Down again. It's over.
Golota is hammered by Lennox Lewis. Wow.
Unbelievable.
Well, it was clean.
That's for sure.
Lewis's next title defense was on March 28, 1998, against lineal champion Shannon Briggs.
Oh, just touch gloves. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Test the chin of Shannon Briggs. Lewis was up a little bit.
Lewis came out firing from the opening bell, but Briggs fired back, causing Lewis to slow down and fight more cautiously.
The story of this fight is, can Briggs do something back? And he lands a right hand, and Briggs comes right back at Lennox Lewis.
Then, in the final seconds of the round, Briggs hurt Lewis with a short left hand that sent him reeling into the ropes, but Lewis managed to remain on his feet until the end of the round.
Big opportunity for Shannon Briggs. Right in the face of Lennox Lewis. Chopping right hand, and Lewis is reeling. Here comes Briggs with a leaping left hand.
Lewis rebounded in round 2, but Briggs continued to find success with his left hand.
Get off him. Get.
Straight right by Briggs. So Briggs shakes his head. Yes, a good hook by Briggs. Lewis again. Back to the corner. Briggs going all out.
Let him out. Let him out.
In round 3, Lewis once again dominated the fight using his jab effectively.
Uppercut by Lewis. Good shot, and Briggs. Good right hand by Lewis. Jab, another right hand. Briggs again with the perfunctory shake. Lewis trying to get the right hand behind it, but Briggs is also fighting.
Then in round 4, Lewis came out aggressively and scored the first knockdown of the fight with a solid right hand to the head.
Lewis driving Briggs back a right hand. Briggs holding on to the ropes. Could have been called the knockdown, but was not. Both fighters sprinted out of the gate, and Briggs is down.
5, 6, 7.
Lewis taking over here at the end of round 3.
Briggs got back to his feet and fought back, but Lewis dropped him with another right hand in the final minute of the round.
Both fighters too tired to finish it, and Briggs is down again.
5, 6.
Can Briggs make it?
7, 8.
Up at 8. Not even trying to hold him up. Does Lewis have enough time to finish it in this round? Only a few seconds left. Lewis explodes on Briggs in round 4, and he makes it to the end.
Then, in round 5, Lewis unloaded again and dropped Briggs with a solid right hand.
And Briggs is down. It may be it. He was blocked.
4, 5, 6,
He shows his gameness, and the crowd loves him for it.
Briggs got back to his feet once more and tried to fight back, but he missed widely with a left hook and collapsed to the canvas.
Left hook, the right hand. Briggs.
The referee immediately waved the fight over.
Telling Frank Cappuccino I slipped. Frank Cappuccino says, I don't care. A ferocious fight between Lennox Lewis and Shannon Briggs, and that was entertainment in the highest order.
On March 13, 1999, Lennox Lewis and the WBA and IBF heavyweight title holder Evander Holyfield met for the first time in a unification bout for the Undisputed Heavyweight Championship. Holyfield previously reigned as the undisputed champion in the cruiserweight division before moving up to the heavyweight to challenge Buster Douglas for the Undisputed Heavyweight Championship in October 1990. He defended the title successfully 3 times against George Foreman, Burt Cooper, and Larry Holmes respectively, before losing it to Ruddock Bowe in 1992.
Champion of the world!
He regained the WBA and IBF titles in a rematch with Bowe the following year, but lost it immediately in his first defense against Southpaw Michael Moorer.
5th round, when he backed up Holyfield and opened up that...
Holyfield retired briefly after this fight due to a misdiagnosed heart condition, but he returned to the ring in 1995 with a 10-round decision victory over Olympic gold medalist Ray Mercer before losing his next fight to Ruddock Bowe via an 8-round knockout. In 1996, Holyfield defeated former world champion Bobby Ches to set up a fight against Mike Tyson after being on hold for 5 long years. Holyfield defeated Mike Tyson and claimed the WBA heavyweight title. Then, in a controversial rematch, Tyson bit off Holyfield's ear twice, leading to Tyson's disqualification.
More fighting in the ring after the end of the fight. Tyson biting tactics, and he still wants more as he's being held back by...
Holyfield avenged his loss to Michael Moorer in November 1997 and unified the IBF title with his WBA title before making a mandatory defense against Von Bean in 1998.
They hurt very difficult. He hurt Bean. And Bean goes down.
Nice clean fight, touch gloves, and good luck to the both of you.
Lewis easily dominated the fight in the early rounds to build a big lead on all the scorecards.
Left hook lands for 17 punches around. Won't win for Evander Holyfield. And he fringes against the ropes as Lewis lands a right hand.
He comes out in a very aggressive posture.
Well, if he opens up to try to fulfill the round 3 prophecy, does Lewis get a chance with the right?
Holyfield came out aggressively in round 3, hitting Lewis with several combinations, but Lewis came back to outbox Holyfield in rounds 4 and 5.
Trying to fulfill the prophecy.
I think he's trying to set him up for something, George. I don't know what it is. The right hand right there.
Right cross landed flush for Holyfield. Lewis seemingly stunned again. Prophecy.
What you want the shorter man to do is reach for everything.
Lewis lands the jab and fires the left. Lewis with a right. And you heard Emmanuel Stewart say, come up with the uppercut. Lewis lands a right hand. Holyfield stunned against Holyfield on the defensive. Right hand lands again. Possum, George. He's hurt.
Yeah, he's had some body punching and they hurt.
And the uppercut landed flush. Long time left in the round.
And then.
Blood along the...
Holyfield found success in round 6 after Lewis dropped his hands to his side, but Lewis once again found success in the 7th round.
Getting a little arrogant.
That'll do. Yeah, you got it. Uppercut for Lewis. Thunder on Holy backward when they come together.
You don't follow a punch around.
Punches and the effective aggressiveness. You can't miss not throwing many punches. Uppercut, uppercut. Lewis misses, goes to the body. If you want to
don't follow him, Holyfield. Don't follow him.
Holyfield increased his output from rounds 8 through 11 and won on 2 of the 3 judges' scorecards.
To his right and make him throw his left hook.
Lewis landed a short right hand with a thud, just like he's doing now. Here comes the aggressiveness. Here comes the Holyfield rally. Here comes the indomitable warrior.
Joe Lewis would never revert. What I was going to talk about, Evander may have had too many wars. It hasn't seemed like it tonight. This boy wasn't.
Lewis finished the fight strongly, winning round 12 on all 3 of the judges' scorecards.
But if a Brit wins, it will be the biggest news.
By the end of the fight, spectators expected Lewis to become the new undisputed champion. However, to everyone's surprise, the fight was ruled a split draw, with one of the judges scoring the fight even, another one having Lewis ahead on points, and the last judge having Holyfield ahead on points.
Even a draw, both champions retain their belts.
Following this controversial split draw, Lewis and Holyfield met for a rematch in November 1999. The 2 men stood toe-to-toe and slugged each other in a more entertaining fight than the first one.
1991.
That's why I named all my boys George, so I wouldn't have to remember anything.
Hard right hand by Holyfield. Cleanest punch of the bout so far.
Lewis is bending down.
And Holyfield landed the left hook.
Bending down.
Like some of what he saw in round number 3. Another big right hand for Holyfield. Lewis holding his left hand below his waist, inviting Holyfield to jab. Holyfield leaving the opportunity alone for the moment. Right hand over the top by Lewis. And Holyfield. Evander lands a right. Lewis lands a little right in return.
Great dividends. Ooh, that right hand on the side of the head hurt.
Kind of slid past Evander's ear, though.
Yep. Taken. He had no idea he would have to fight for this title. And he turned this thing into a fight. He didn't need to be in the fight.
So it's a much more even fight. But despite everything we're saying, Lewis has landed some shots in this round and may in fact be winning the round. Well, Evander Holyfield won't back down from anybody. Uppercut lands for Lewis. Holyfield misses the
Lewis, but will Lewis take advantage of it?
Multiple punches for Lewis. Holyfield not throwing back. Fires the right and drives Lewis into the ropes. Lennox goes back to the body and the uppercut. Thrashing Holyfield with power.
To create as much of this as he can.
But he just landed another big right uppercut. It'll be the 11th time in Holyfield's career, round 10.
Ooh, good body shots by Lewis. Like a pitcher, and he just stands there and does whatever he wants.
Ooh, hard left hook by Holyfield. Kind of effort the 2 fighters are putting forth, but still, Lewis throws more and lands more in almost every round. Has never begun bleeding again. They fought a lot better fight this time, and the fans appreciate it.
However, Lewis was declared the winner this time around as the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, unifying the WBC, WBA, IBF, and IBO titles. Lewis's reign as the undisputed heavyweight champion was short as the WBA stripped him of his title when he chose to face undefeated Michael Grant instead of mandatory challenger John Ruiz. The fight between Lewis and Grant took place on April 29, 2000, with Lewis defending his remaining titles. Grant took the fight to Lewis from the opening bell, but Lewis was able to back him off midway into the round with an uppercut that dropped him to the canvas.
Lewis lands an uppercut and Grant goes down. Thunderous uppercut.
That punch landed very high on the head, which is a place that can paralyze a fighter.
Lewis continued with the assault and scored a second knockdown, but Grant got back to his feet, only to be sent back to the canvas with a hard right hand.
That should do it. That should do it.
That's it. He's broke his leg.
I don't think Grant will get up from that. Well, here it comes. He's going to try.
Lewis started the second round as the aggressor, but after he failed to score a knockdown in the first minute, he took a more conservative approach.
Come back on top. Don't just walk in. Forget about the first round. Start all over again.
There he goes. Lewis beginning to pop the jab.
However, with less than 30 seconds in the round, Lewis ended the fight with a vicious right uppercut.
And for the moment, Lewis looks punched out as he lands another uppercut and floors Grant for the fourth time.
5, 6, 7.
This time I don't think so.
9. That's it, my man.
That's it.
That's it. That's it. I got you.
Lewis's next defense was against South African Francois Botha on July 15, 2000.
May the best man win.
Lewis had Botha on the defensive from the opening round before stopping him in the final minute of round 2 with a brutal combination that sent him flying halfway out of the ring.
Вот так. Справа, слева, еще раз справа. В принципе, конечно, бой закончен. Вы видите, что так мелко пошатывало Боту.
Following the victory over Botha, Lewis's next opponent was New Zealander and IBF mandatory challenger David Tua. The 1992 Olympics medalist David Tua was ranked as the #1 contender by both the WBC and IBF. He is known for his formidable punching power, especially his left hook and durable chin. Coming into the fight, he had an impressive record of 37 wins and only 1 loss to Nigerian boxer Ike Ibeabuchi. Both David Tua and Ike Ibeabuchi came into the bout as undefeated prospects and showed tremendous heart as they traded heavy punches from the opening round until the last bell. Ibeabuchi won via a 12-round unanimous decision. Many fans and experts believe that Tua emerged victorious, but nevertheless, it was an exhilarating bout.
The president, Ibeabuchi.
After the loss, Tua made a comeback with 10 straight wins, including a 10th-round knockout over Hasim Rahman to set up a fight against Lennox Lewis for his world heavyweight title.
All right, gentlemen, fair but I'm firm. Touch him up.
The distance in 19 seconds.
Unlike Lewis's previous 2 fights, which ended in the second round, Tua took Lewis the distance. However, Tua gave a less than stellar performance in this one-sided fight that saw Lewis dominate from the opening round to score an easy, unanimous decision victory.
I've never come across him fighting or
Oh, there's a left hook. He's got him with a left hook.
Strength and everything else that Lennox Lewis possesses.
Oh, big left hook.
Back foot now, start to let him have the shot. Looks like he's softened him up and
lining up something here.
Champion of the world from Great Britain, Lennox Lewis.
After 3 successful title defenses, Lewis had his sights on a potential fight with Mike Tyson in the summer of 2001. But in the meanwhile, he decided to defend his title against little-known American challenger Hasim Rahman on April 22, 2001 in South Africa. Rahman came into the fight with a record of 34 wins and 2 losses, including a loss to David Tua, whom Lewis had comfortably outpointed in his previous outing. Bookkeepers didn't give Rahman a chance as he was considered a 20-1 underdog. Because Lewis didn't consider his opponent a threat, he stayed back in Las Vegas filming for the Hollywood blockbuster Ocean's 11. This gave him little time to adjust to the high altitude in South Africa.
60 years ago, but Red Berman was knocked out in 5 rounds by Joe Lewis.
The 2 men met at the center of the ring and fought a close fight for the first 4 rounds. However, Lewis did just enough to stay ahead on all the scorecards after the 4th round.
years ago.
Well, Lewis has got to keep that left hand up a little higher because Rahman is still looking for the right. Looking for that lucky right hand shot. See, there's the right hand that I was telling you about. Rahman.
And Lewis looking for that big stronger in this round. Oh, uppercut by the champion. Rahman in a little bit of trouble. To be fair to him, he came back, and that right hand of his has come in.
Then, in the final minute of round 5, Rahman backed Lewis up against the ropes. Lewis momentarily dropped his guard, giving Rahman the perfect opportunity to strike with a big right hand that dropped the champion hard to the canvas to score an upset win.
Oh, he's got him! He's got him! He got careless and he's got him! Is it Oliver McCall all over again? It is! And Lewis has gone! Lewis has gone! It's another upset of immense proportions. This has been billed as thunder in Africa, and the thunder and the lightning and tempest have washed over Lennox Lewis.
Rahman became the new champion and an instant sensation in the heavyweight division.
Heavyweight champion of the world, Hasim,
Lewis got a rematch in November of the same year. Unlike the first meeting, Lewis came into the rematch prepared and dominated from the opening bell. After winning for 3 rounds, Lewis unleashed a monstrous right hand in round 4 to stop Rahman and claim back the 3 titles he had lost earlier in the year.
Oh, wonderful shot by Lennox Lewis, and he's laid out Hasim Rahman. Is he going to get up from that? It was a fantastic shot, and Rahman will move very, very well. He will be stopped. It is over. Revenge, redemption for Lennox Lewis. 3-time heavyweight champion of the world for Great Britain, and he could not have been more sensational or sparkling or sizzling in doing it. There's the answer.
Lennox Lewis.
On June 8, 2002, Lennox Lewis met Mike Tyson in a long-awaited fight. Plans of a bout between the two had been in the planning since as early as 1996 when Tyson was a champion, but it never materialized. With the two of them now in the twilight of their careers, Tyson was having his last chance to fight for a world heavyweight title. Tyson lost his heavyweight title to Evander Holyfield in a controversial bout in 1996 and failed to regain it in a rematch the following year. After being away from the ring for almost 2 years, Tyson made a comeback against South African Francois Botha in 1999. He won the fight via knockdown in the 5th round after Botha dominated in the early rounds. 2 of his next 5 fights ended in a no contest, while he won the remaining 3 to earn a title shot against Lewis. The build-up to the fight was marked with controversies. Tyson earlier threatened to eat Lewis's kids, although he did not have any at the time. He also bit Lewis's leg during a pre-fight press conference melee. However, the tensions before the fight only made people more interested in the fight.
Alors attention, 30 premières secondes.
Ils ne vont pas se toucher les mains, ça va partir. Alors ça va partir comme une furie. Le choc de Memphis va-t-elle exploser?
Tyson got off to an early start, using his aggressiveness and left hook effectively.
C'était rentré, allongé 2 fois, le direct du gauche. Et
Tyson s'était lâché un moment.
Oui, simplement.
A installé Tyson sous un faux rythme.
Et pour l'intention quand même.
Ah, c'est sûr, c'est l'arme fatale. C'est l'arme idéale.
In round 2, the referee warned Lewis for excessive holding, but the champion got the better of the exchange and won the round.
Celui-ci. Ouais, ouais, tiens.
Il faut l'attitude de Tyson.
Oh, il a pris le uppercut.
By the 3rd round, Lewis established his range and effectively used his jab to keep Tyson at bay.
Oui, quand il disait Tyson, je vais le maîtriser et sincèrement même je suis capable de le détruire totalement. Je pensais Jean-Claude l'œil droit est bien touché de la part du grand Francois. Et oui, c'était bien la sensation première.
Lewis continued using his strategy in the fourth round, and with 10 seconds to go, Lewis sent Tyson to the canvas, but it was ruled a slip.
Pour Mike Tyson.
Et on est tombé, Tyson sur la droite. Sur la droite
et en plus il l'a poussé.
Oui. Il a acquiescé sur le coup, Tyson. Allez, il est en train en fait un petit peu de montrer à c'est terminé dans cette reprise. Un point.
By the fifth round, Tyson was tired and sluggish with his face swollen and was doing barely enough to remain standing.
Allez, en haut, en bas.
Vous n'avez pas été à l'aise non plus avant de toucher.
From the next 2 rounds, Lewis controlled the fight and was connecting at will.
Elle vient dans le vide. Celle-là, elle est arrivée. Mais bon, c'est Tyson.
Oui, parce que quand vous dites ça, Jean-Claude, écoutez bien. Oui.
Place. C'est pas resté sur place, Tyson.
Il est KO debout.
Cible trop facile.
Oh là, il est touché.
Coming into round 8, Lewis was ahead on all the scorecards. Midway into the round, Lewis connected with a big uppercut that was accidentally ruled as a knockdown.
Le même uppercut qu'à Tokyo. Oh, il a fait l'ascenseur.
Mais il n'est pas allé à terre, il est compté dans cette 8e reprise. Comment?
Uppercut qu'à Tokyo.
However, Tyson appeared lost in the ring as he stood for the count.
Du début du combat. Ouais, c'est trop. Il a envie.
Then, with 47 seconds left to the bell, Lewis connected with another big right hand to end the fight.
Il faut plus que du courage. Jean-Claude, il est KO. La droite. Quelle droite terrible de Mike Tyson. Il ne se relèvera pas. Il est KO, Mike Tyson. C'est terminé. Lennox Lewis est toujours champion. Lennox est surtout toujours le plus grand. Et quelle droite. Quel KO. Mike Tyson, dans lequel beaucoup de gens espéraient le voir ressusciter.
Lewis's victory over Tyson was the crowning moment of his career. With the victory, he cemented his legacy as one of the greatest heavyweights in boxing history. Following the epic showdown against Mike Tyson, Lewis went on to defend his title against WBC #1 contender and former WBO champion Vitali Klitschko on June 21, 2003. Lewis was forced to vacate the IBF title after refusing to face IBF mandatory challenger Chris Bird, whom Vitali Klitschko had lost the WBO title to 3 years earlier. Klitschko was ahead on all the scorecards in his fight against Bird. However, Klitschko retired on his stool after the 9th round due to a shoulder injury. Before Klitschko lost the WBO title to Chris Bird, he had accumulated a perfect record of 27 wins, all by way of knockout. After the sole loss, however, Klitschko returned to winning ways, winning 5 straight fights to get another shot at a world title.
Clean fight, listen to my commands, shake hands and await the bell. Good luck to both of you.
Now let's fight.
He entered to the strains of the Eagles Hotel California. So will it be?
Klitschko came into the fight as the betting underdog, but he got off to an early start, dominating the champion in rounds 1 and 2.
Left hand lands for Klitschko. Lewis momentarily with awkward short arm shots. He's beating Lewis to the punch. He rips him again with a right hand. Lewis momentarily wobbles. And now Lewis is still wobbly as Vitali. You can bet Emmanuel Stewart's going to have a lot to say to Lennox if he can make it out of this round. Klitschko trying to land that right hand one more time. Lewis.
Effect on Klitschko. That man is heavy, Lennox Lewis.
And Lennox Lewis's left eye is beginning to swell, and there may be blood under the eye. Vitali Klitschko is roughing Lennox Lewis up as the second round begins to come down the stretch.
There's a big rub over the eyes.
Then, in round 3, Lewis connected with a big right hand that opened a cut above Klitschko's left eye.
Saw the punch. He's bleeding pretty good there.
Lennox Lewis under the left eye, and now Vitali bleeding by the left eye as well.
There has never been a heavyweight championship.
This is taking the hardest shot.
Okay, we're calling timeout to look at the guy.
From the 4th round, Lewis targeted Klitschko's vulnerable eye, causing the condition to grow worse. However, Klitschko continued to fight bravely and was ahead on all the scorecards after the 6th round.
Lewis tries. Vitali misses with the right hand. That badly cut. But in the 4th round,
staying away from that big overhand right.
Is down. Right hand staggers Klitschko momentarily in favor of Vitali Klitschko, but his eye begins to drain blood again.
Lewis is there for him. All he has to do is just take.
Deep breath. Give him some water.
It's not bleeding there bad.
Between rounds, hard right hand by Vitali Klitschko. Between rounds, every time the doctor goes into Vitali's corner, they're pausing the clock. So as long as a minute and a half has been going by between rounds, and that's got to be a help to Lewis, as exhausted as he looks at the end of these rounds.
On closer examination of Klitschko's eye between rounds 6 and 7, the ringside doctor decided that it was too dangerous for Klitschko to carry on with the fight. So, although Klitschko was ahead on the scorecards, Lewis was awarded the winner of the fight by technical knockout. Klitschko needed 60 stitches to his face afterward.
Officially at the end of 6 rounds by TKO victory and still heavyweight champion of the world,
Lewis announced his retirement shortly thereafter in February 2004. He left the ring as a reigning world champion, avoiding serious injuries and disappointing defeats throughout his career. From 2006 to 2010, Lewis worked as an analyst for HBO. In 2009, Lewis was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. The former champion resides in Miami Beach, Florida. He's married to Violet Chang, a former finalist in the Miss Jamaica competition for several years. The couple has 3 children. They own a golf club, a villa, and a plot of land spanning 0.5 square miles. Throughout his life, he overcame numerous challenges and always achieved the highest results. The history of professional boxing holds the names of dozens of world champions, but Lewis stands out among the overwhelming majority. He won the World Heavyweight title 3 times and the Lineal Championship twice, and remains the last heavyweight to hold the Undisputed title. He avenged all of his defeats and truly proved himself to be the best heavyweight in one of the strongest eras of world boxing. What is your favorite moment of Lennox Lewis throughout his career? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel to be the first to get notified when we drop another interesting video like this one. Thank you for watching.